Okay, good afternoon. How is everyone going today? Let me just make sure that I've got everything coming up here. Okay. And I really wish Facebook would not change stuff. It just makes it so much more difficult for the rest of us to work out whether our stuff is actually working as we go through. Okay, yes, thank God, I can see that. Okay, good afternoon, Michelle. A quick pop in before I start the washing. I love that. I was good, I did mine yesterday. Okay, so good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us. I'm not totally in my jammies today, but I am wearing my gorgeous embroidered shirt that we did last year, and it's just such a comfortable one to wear. So thank you for popping in and saying hello. Okay, so this afternoon we are going to do the Trapunto stocking, and I'm just going to come through, and it's much easier to show you here what it looks like. It is absolutely gorgeous. Yowza, 38 degrees. We're 30. And I've got the aircon on, I must say. So 38 does not sound good. So Trapunto is what we're doing today, and I've given it a really solid, fluffy sort of a style by using bag foam. And here's the other one that I've done, and you can see they are exactly the same size. It's just on this one I've added, and it's part of the pattern, that you can add a stocking topper with the person's name on it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And what I'm going to do is we're going to come and get started. So to begin with, what you need is the fabric that you're going to use, and I'm going to use cream homespun. And I've gone with, then we've got bag foam, and the instructions tell you exactly how much you need. And I've got quilter's wadding as well. Oh, yowza, no aircon. No. Time to go home, Michelle. Okay, so to start with, I am going to stitch out the outline. Now, I don't mind if you use cutaway or tearaway on this design. I've used both. The difference that you end up with is the cutaway gives you a much softer finish. And realistically, that is the main difference. And so we come around and we stitch our outline. Now, these designs are made specifically for the larger hoops. And as much as anything else, it's a way to test whether, because I see a lot of people complaining that there's not designs that are just out there for that are specifically done for the larger hoops. So I thought this was a great way of seeing how much that was wanted. Okay, so we've stitched our outline. Now I'm going to come through with my bag foam. Now, depending on what machine you are using here, if you do not have the ability to pop your presser foot height up a little bit, you may have to use a spring motion foot for this. And you can Frankenstein this all together with no problems whatsoever. So it's actually a great way of using up excess foam that you might have around. And I love the way that this has given a real oomph to the design. For a more subtle look, you could go with quilter's wadding, cut it out, and then add the other on top. Now, what I am going to have to do here is come through and just add a piece, and this is what I'm talking about with Frankensteining. Because I'm using up scraps, what I'm looking to do is come through and I'll cut off part that I know that I'm not going to need there, and then pop it on and match up those seams so that I can use it on the next bit. And you can see there, this is fine. Don't worry about the fact that you've got to join there. Remember, we're covering all of this with wadding before we actually stitch it. And we come through. Now, the other thing that I like about this is we can be a little bit cavalier when we're then cutting it out as well. And we've got Lisa Callum with us. Thank you for joining us, Lisa. Okay, so now I'm coming to the top part, and I have just pressed stop because this does stitch as a single unit. But what I want it to do is come through, and I want to pop in, like I just need to use up my scraps again. Now, Lisa very generously test sewed the stained glass size of this one, which was very nice of her. And I'm hoping that the lovely Eloise loves that one. So we've got a candle with poinsettias, and then we've got the poinsettia up the top. And I love that for all as ugly as this actually looks to start with, it ends up just looking so, so beautiful. So we're going to come through and then just stitch that back, that last part. Okay, so my stitching is now done, and what I can do is come over onto the work mat and start trimming away. So work out for yourself what scissors. What I find is the beautiful little squeezies that I love using all the time are not suitable for this. And that is just because they are too small to get into the bag foam. So instead, I'm going to use my larger scissors. And as I said, you can be a little bit cavalier here. Near enough really is good enough on this particular part. And you're going to end up with lots of tiny little scrappy bits as we come around. Now, the other thing that I haven't checked for a couple of days is, oh, there we go. We've got 43 days till Christmas now. Oh, Lisa, you've got to finish that off so that we can see how it looks. I went out yesterday and I started getting together my, like Edward and I went out and we had breakfast. We made the Christmas shopping list, not grocery wise, but you know, like what we're getting the kids, that sort of thing. And we went in and started our shopping. So this morning I went through and spent probably about $500 on underwear for my little darlings for their Santa sacks, simply because you know, you've got one who likes this brand, you've got one who likes that brand. The brand that Cameron likes are the Step ones, and they actually had a buy 5 pair, get 6 pair for free. So his were the most expensive, but I'll be using them between, like I'll give him a couple pairs for this Christmas, and it'll be a couple of pairs for his birthday next year as well. Okay. And the main thing, of course, that we are doing here is just keeping everything straight as we go along. Now, so you can see there, I'm trimming around. I'm getting close, but I'm not totally pedantic about it. What I now want to do is show you. So here we have the stitching finished, and look, I kind of love just how ugly and horrible it looks here. If you see and come in close, you see I've put a join there. It really is, you know, it does look like it's been MacGyvered up. So next step is we are going to take our wadding and we are going to lay it over our design. And just make sure it is clearly over the design. And then I'm going to take my fabric and again lay it over. Now, as I said in the instructions, I am being stingy. And when I say stingy, what I mean is if that is, whoops, if that's the bottom there, I'm coming up and I'm just giving myself a little bit more than seam allowance to work with. Okay. And now I am ready for colorway 3, which is going to be the stitching that's going to hold these 2 layers to the stabilizer. So let me thread my machine up. And what I want to do here, now I've put a light on the back of the machine here to try and make things a little bit easier, but we will see if that actually works. So smooth out as you go. Okay. And I'll probably change that because I'm not thinking that's giving us great shadows there. But now we can come through, and colorway 4 is going to give us all of the quilting design. So everything around our gorgeous outline. Okay, maybe that's the way to go. And you can see there just how stunning. And I've used a little, I was going almost for a Christmas bauble sort of a look when I was picking out the quilting design to use with this one. So what I love is, and look, this isn't the quickest thing you're going to do, but it also doesn't take that long. Once you've got that first part of the stitching done, you are only looking at, like I think it's telling me it's going to take me 30 odd minutes, 35 minutes of stitching. So realistically, that's probably not too bad. And what's everybody else been up to this week? Oh, good idea, Michelle. Yeah, post a photo. Show us what you've got done. Okay, so the other ones that I wanted to show you that I have been, that go with this collection really. So this is my version of my Santa Christmas stocking. Now, I had this trim and it's been sitting in the cupboard for a good couple of years, so I thought I'd give it a go. It was absolutely a pain in the neck to work with, and I wouldn't use it again without planning it out better. But I love how the stocking itself came out. And then I've gone the elegant route, and where are we here? So this is my my snowflakes, and I think there's a real elegance to that one. The other thing that I've done this week is I've started on my traditional Christmas, what do we call them? Tea towels, ready for Ed to take to work. So this year I've gone to, because I like to do something just ever so slightly different. So this year what I've done, because we all know that wherever you stitch, it's not going to quite work the same. What I've done is I've actually stitched it onto cotton and then cut around it with a zigzag rotary cutter. So it's going to fray and give that homey sort of look as we go along. And I'm really happy with the way that's turned out. And on top of that, Kmart had the tea towels on sale for a 3-pack for $3. Okay, let's come and see how we are doing. And the next and ah question that I always start asking myself is then, well, what colour am I going to do for everything else? And like I have a couple of gold colours that I love. And then I'm just wondering whether I use one of those or whether I use something different. Because what I don't want to do on this, because I am going to paint it, I don't want to go metallic. So loving how all of that's coming out. And you can see how it's then just coming up to that corner of where we've got all of that foam. And it's quite interesting. The colour I've used here is a really pale yellow. I had a lot of trouble when I've been doing these, finding that right colour. And it's actually a whiter colour than I thought it would be. Okay, it is. It's actually the tea towel is a little bit, and it's yeah, it is visually difficult, but no, it is right. That tea towel is a little bit off, and probably the reason that it's $3 for the set of them. But as soon as that starts to fray a little bit, it's going to give a slightly different look as well. And it's an interesting thing, like, and I've had this machine now for a year, and I do find it interesting how much I've used the square 28 by 28 or 11-inch hoop rather than this hoop. But I've got a couple of projects coming up that are actually going to do some pattern pieces in the hoop, and are going to save us a whole lot of time when we put together some really nice projects. But I like the fact that this hoop is then large enough that it gives me something to, like, it's not a really, really tiny design. Like some of the stockings, because, you know, based on the hoop sizes that we've had to, but some of the designs that we've been able to use make stockings that are so small, they actually can't really be used for anything. Now, do not worry that this has come off a little bit over here. That's because the fabric has just moved a little bit because of our wadding. But that will be caught up in our seam allowance, and you're not going to see that messiness. And how about this week? What's everybody got planned? My daughters are now officially finished at school, so they will be helping their parents out. while they get started on the next part of their lives. But we've got, so this week, Edward's going to take Friday afternoon off and take them to the TAFE open day. And then we've got formal next week. So it is amazing how quickly life is catching up with us. Nearly at the end of 2023. And I can see we've got lots of people with us today on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you coming in. So wasn't Optus helpful this week? Look on my daughter's faces when we got out on whatever it was, Wednesday or Thursday morning, and the internet's down. So it did mean that I had to go and to email Edward through the day. And then his phone went back, which was great, but we didn't have any internet at home. Must have been Thursday, because it was Thursday night that stuffed it up for us. And we're nearly done now with our quilting. We've just got to come around the heel of the foot. But I am loving the summer weather, I will say. I'm sure I'll be complaining about the heat in a couple of days. But it is nice, sitting out on the deck for dinner and little things like that. It was a stormy night last night, and we left we sort of had the doors open, and we was just watching the lightning, and yeah, it was quite beautiful. And I do just like seeing it all coming in together. Okay. And what I love to see is just how much that does suck in there as it stitches over. Okay, so that is our first colour done, and it's already starting to look quite beautiful. Now, when I said I'd gone for quite a light colour that I wouldn't normally put with cream, that's what I mean. It's actually quite a pale whitish yellow. But I'm going to finish it off with my favourite gold, non-metallic gold colour. And now I do have to tell you, whilst I am in here, Edward is out puttering around on the deck, cooking roast chicken. Actually, I just want to make one change. I'm just going to raise my presser foot a little bit. Bobbin winding speed, needle plate lifting time speed. Embroidery foot height. So I've got this beautiful barbecued roast chicken smell coming through. And yeah, it doesn't suck. Now, what I'm loving to see, have you guys, like I'm sure, and I don't mind which brand you have, but have you guys seen, you see me here with the Janome. I know, I know FAF have brought out a new machine this year, which I'm assuming means Husqvarna have as well. I'm loving seeing some of these new machines. They are just looking beautiful. And yeah, we've now got, I mean, this is an 11 by 18 inch hoop. They are just stunning to use. So I do hope you are all very, very lucky at Christmas and obviously get new machines there. But by the other hand, the other thing that I tell people is that it's a little bit Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers. You can do exactly the same thing. It is generally just more steps. And if you don't have a larger hoop, what you need to be better at is joining. And that's a skill that a lot of people with the larger hoops have lost over time. Okay. Now, throughout the week, I'm going to come on and do, I'll share with you how I paint it up. Now, I am in no way, shape or form the be-all and end-all of being able to, or good at, painting these darlings. But I will share with you what I've been taught and the tips that I've been told to use. And how good would this be as a technique as well? Like if you made the grandkids these Christmas stockings, gave them some, set them up outside in the shade with some tiny little paintbrushes and some, some fabric paints or textile medium colouring in pencils, and told them to go at it. Everybody's then would be customised for what each child wanted. And what you can see here is just how it really does start to come to life as you start this last colour of stitching. And maybe this will be for a couple of nights this week, I'll do a before dinner colouring in sort of a thing. Because the one thing that I did learn with all of this is that I need to let it dry between colours. I cannot do it all at once. And how great is it now that it's turning from that lump into an actual textured design? It's got details in it. Yeah. Oh, how cute is this? Now again, I'm only stitching at 700 stitches a minute here. It is triple stitched. There are our little berries in the poinsettia. And then we're ready to move down to our candle. So I think the thing that takes the most time with this really is just the Now, I cannot help myself. I've got to come through and trim that. Is doing the trim away. And it's watching these candles come to life with the dripping wax, with the, like, it's just, it really is gorgeous to see. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Look, it does. So it took a while for all those questions to come up, Michelle. So the Janome does have a sensor foot on it for height, but it also allows you to set the maximum. And because of something I'd been doing earlier, I'd set the maximum to be lower. You're probably not wrong, actually, with giving it to Emma to paint. I might set her up in front of a camera tomorrow and do that. Oh, and look, that QR foot, the Q sensor foot on the Vikings, they're brilliant. Isn't it weird, the things we get used to doing? I'm trying to remember what I used, why I reset it this week. Stuffed if I even know. I'm sure there was method in the madness there somewhere. Yes, I kind of wish I lived in Melbourne and I could give it to the incredibly talented Anne Conway. She's the one who painted my Conway bears all those years ago. They were hers, and she's also the person who painted the little children 1 and 2 for me. And she's just this amazing artist. I don't have her skills, but I can aspire. And yeah, it really is just seeing it all come together. It's just, I just love that part of any stitching. It probably was, actually. It was probably, yeah, I'd gone past the sensor to set it for higher, I think. And yeah, I needed to let it go back. Because the one thing I find, the stencil has difficulty when it's going from the edge of a flat bit over to a high bit. Oh, now that's the other bit that I got when I was doing my shopping today. I got I found a place that does what do you call it? Cocktail mixes, and you can do them for either like you just add your own booze or you add ice and fruit. So that way, so I thought that would be a nice thing for the girl's birthday on Christmas Day. We'll do cocktails for lunch and afternoon. I mean, none of us are huge drinkers, so they won't all have booze in them. But yeah, how refreshing will that be? And one of the things that I love is as I come around, like there's just something to be said for running your fingers over it, because it is just, you get such texture out of having that trapunto there. Oh, I do like how this is coming up though. And I used my rope bag this week. I had to drag some stuff around. And I'm loving, and thank you so much to everybody who posted up their pictures of their rope bags this week. I thought that was really, really cool. Now, one of the things that I love is just seeing how, and I'm assuming it's because, I'm hoping it's because we're nearer to Christmas and everybody has better things to do on a Sunday afternoon than sit here and stitch. But yes, it is a much quieter day this afternoon. And what that means is that a lot of people then come in and watch it on catch up. So it's never really a problem because we all do our thing differently. Okay. So we are on the downward cycle here. Ah, perfecto. Love, love, love it. Okay. So what I'm now going to do is just show you what I've got here. Okay. So that is our finished design, and I think that is looking kinda gorgeous. So stitching it together is basic sandwiching. We do have the extra panel you can put on the top if you wish, which comes as part of the kit. And so I'm going to put this together, and then this week I'll come in live and I'll show you how I go about painting, or I'll get not Michelle, or I'll get Emma to paint mine for me. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I do hope you have enjoyed that, and of course, all put together, that is what we are going to look like. Okay, so I'll catch up with you guys this week showing you how they look finished, and until next time, have a stitching day. Bye.